Good morning, or it's 11:23. Fred Hadley reporting live for the Village Sentry. Apparently there's been a fire reported at Mansfield C. We just got here on the scene. Whatever it is, it's probably under control here. So we're coming up on the building director, Mr. Bo Dobrev.
This is Fred Hadley.
Hi. So apparently it's a minor food on the stove situation. Very noisy over here.
Fred, this unit has been obviously used as a commercial.
All right, all right. Don't get into anything like that.
Okay.
We're on live right now.
So what?
All right. Well, let's not get into that.
Do you see all this equipment?
Huh?
Do you see all this bakery equipment?
Yeah.
So do you think it's normal for a household, for one person? Okay.
I'm not really qualified to comment. You know,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just.
It's my comment. I'm just.
Yeah. That's all right.
That's a statement from my side.
So do you know who the occupant is there?
Yes, a lady called Antoinette.
And is she an owner or a renter or?
No, she's a renter.
A renter. Oh.
She's a renter.
Has
This
this?
unit has been rented ever since I came here in 2009.
And do you think that had anything to do with the what? So what was it? Food on the stove? Something?
Food on the stove, yes.
No damage to the unit.
No. You can see nothing. They
Yeah.
cleared the air and they took that all out.
Yeah. Nobody injured, right?
There was nobody in the
Oh, it's an empty unit?
She
No.
was not at home.
So she left the fire, you know, the stove on.
Yes, obviously.
And how did they get into the unit?
Let me show you. This window.
Yeah.
They reach.
All right.
They open
All right.
inside
You don't have to go into details, but they got in through the window. No damage. Yeah. And what's this machine over here?
This is a ventilator.
Oh, just a
to
ventilator.
to blow the smoke out.
Right. And there's the lid for the pot on the ground there.
Yeah, it was with the lid.
Yeah. And where's your unit?
Here.
You're 2 stories up?
No.
You're on 2?
Above it.
You're on the 2nd floor?
On the 2nd floor.
So you're directly above it?
Above it.
And-
I smelled smoke coming into the unit. And then when I told you that other people also are smelling, she was walking around.
Right. So what action did the fire department take? They didn't water it down or anything, huh?
No.
They just took the pot out?
They just took the pot out and ventilated the unit.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
Do you know if they got a hold of the lady?
I don't know.
No.
I have no contact.
Right.
I don't know
Sure.
who the owners are because
Sure.
the management company does not provide us with the information.
Sure. So there you have it. Apparently somebody left the stove on, and there was a, what is that, about a 2-quart or a 3-quart pot over here?
No, it's small, probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. The air right now is very acrid, obviously. The metal probably overheated and everything. And this is Unit 87 Mansfield. We're in the C building for Charlie. And situation seems to be well under control here. We have, let's see, 1, 2 fire rescues. Both of them from 5-3 right around the corner. Got some sheriff's cars here. So the good news is there's virtually no property damage. There's certainly no injuries. It smells very bad around here, like you would expect when you leave a pot on a stove unattended. And I don't think they've located the resident, who apparently is just a renter in 87 Mansfield C. We're very fortunate. We live right next to fire rescue here in Century Village, Boca Raton. Well, they're starting to put away their extinguishers as far as I know. They got in through the window. There was nobody at home, and they're wheeling out now ventilating equipment. Very noisy fan.
That's my niece, gentleman, the owner's name of 87. That's Mike.
As we get closer, it's like almost impossible to breathe over here. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay. So other than smoke, I guess there's really no physical damage here, fortunately. Since I've been in Century Village, we've never had a crossover, which is when a fire spreads from one unit to another. These are concrete block side walls. The front walls, of course, are stucco. They're not as strong, and they seem to contain the fire when there is a fire. This was not really a fire. It was just food on the stove, leading to an acrid smoke condition. It was reported by Bo Dobrev, who lives immediately above the unit. He's the director of the building. He used to be on our M&O committee. He's the one that called us up. We appreciate that, Bo. And that's really all there is to say about this. No injuries, no damage. They didn't have to do any watering. They simply entered through the window, Unit 87, Mansfield C as in Charlie, and removed the smoky pot, which is right here on the grass. And the lid you can see over there on the ground. So we have a little excitement. It's now November 3rd. We're at the end of the hurricane season in about 27 days. So we needed something to liven up an otherwise sedate village. Mansfield had their board meeting last night. And I don't think I'd be speaking out of turn to say that they have fired Seacrest management. They weren't happy with the job they were doing, and they have voted with a majority of 8 in a 14 building association to go back to first service residential. So as far as I know, that means the only holdout in Century Village would be Dorset Association. I think they're still with Crest, which is a different company than Seacrest. Seacrest, I believe, was about the 3rd management company that Mansfield was using after they got rid of First Service. First they went with, trying to remember the name of the company, Core, C-O-R-E, but that didn't even last a year, and they got rid of them and they went to Seacrest. Now Seacrest is a pretty big outfit, and they manage Century Village, West Palm Beach, as far as I know, which is much larger than Century Village West here in Boca Raton. And they have 7,854 units as against 5,712 units here. We have 105 residential buildings. They have 349 residential buildings. And each residential building in Century Village, West Palm Beach is its own board of directors. So that makes Century Village, West Palm Beach one of the largest boards in America with 349 directors. So you think things are a little chaotic here, you can imagine what they are up there with that many people managing their affairs. So there you have it. Again, this is Fred Hadley. We're reporting live on Facebook for the Village Century. We're in front of Mansfield C. You can see the building director pointing to the woman on the third floor describing what happened. This unit is right next to the turnpike, as you can see in the background, the noise wall. And again, it was just a pot was left unattended on the stove. You can see the pot lying there on the lawn. And the apartment was empty, so obviously somebody left without turning off the stove, and the pot overheated and started to stink up everything. Director Bo Dobrev, who you see on the left here, lives in the unit immediately above it. He lives right above 87 Mansfield C, and he called 911 after determining that there was a condition, and then he gave us a call, and everything is wrapping up now. Fire rescue is leaving. So once again, no injuries, no property damage. Entry was by the window, which I guess was unlocked. They just lifted it up and went in and removed the pot from the stove. They had a little fan in the doorway ventilating it, but no watering was done, so there's virtually no damage to speak of. So thank you very much for tuning in, and just in case you're watching, if you don't know already, this Saturday night the dance has been suspended because they're going to be holding the very first live show of the season in the party room, because the theater is still not quite ready. And the word is it may not be ready for 2 or 3 more weeks. So if that's the case, then they're going to keep holding the live shows in the party room. They have, apparently they haven't sold that many tickets because the party room cannot accommodate the same number of people as the theater, which is, I think carpeting is it's a sticking point right now. On Saturday night there was a strong odor of glue in the clubhouse. Presumably they were gluing down the carpeting. And what we're doing is we're trying to persuade them to move the dances over to Temple Beth Shalom, which is on the premises here, which is what they did the last time the theater was under construction, and that was in low season. Right now it's high season, prime time, and we've suggested that perhaps they ought to accommodate the people that want to use the dances by staging them at Beth Shalom. This is only a suggestion. Nothing has been acted on yet. As soon as the decision has been made, we will let you know through the Village Century. But for now, the first show will be in the party room, and there will not be a dance this weekend as it stands right now. But the situation could change, so check the Village Century on Friday. If they are going to move the dance over. We'll make that the lead story so that as many people as possible can find out. So thanks very much for tuning in. If you want to leave a comment or a question down below, we respond to all of them. And this is Fred Hadley reporting live in front of Mansfield C, which is right next to the Florida Turnpike, where there was a minor food left on the stove, smoke condition that did not require any watering or extinguishing, but merely removing the offending pot, which I guess it's already been taken off the lawn. I don't see it anymore. So there you have it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Be safe. Remember, it's still in the clubhouse, highly recommended that you wear a mask. Not required, but highly recommended. And we certainly think that that's good advice, especially with Thanksgiving just around the corner. We don't want to see any fresh spikes in COVID. And if you haven't been vaccinated, of course, I don't have to tell you, you should be. We've got our third Pfizer in our arm back in August. And we also got a flu shot 2 weeks ago. And what they're saying is you can get them both at the same time. There's no worries about mixing the shots. So we're slowly getting there. We could hope to have maybe some normalcy if enough people that were vaccine hesitant change their mind. And remember, you're not just protecting yourself, but people you come in contact with, neighbors, friends, loved ones. So do the right thing. As the mask says, combat COVID, wear your mask, and keep your distance, and hopefully we'll have a better year next year. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Fred Hadley reporting live from a food left on the stove smoke condition that did not require any watering by Fire Rescue 53, which is right next to Century Village. So if you are cooking, always make sure you turn off your stove. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.